welcome. I'm Anika Spencer, and we're going to be working through a yoga flow for mobility of the chest, as well as some mobility, function, even stimulation of the hips. As we go through this experience, if you have blocks or even a strap at home, you might want to have them handy here. I recommend a strap if the chest is a little tight. You can also use a towel, a shirt, whatever you have handy if that works for you. Go ahead and start seated. Come into a cross-legged position and walk your crossed ankles forward. Then tip forward over the ankles and allow your forehead to start to hang heavy down towards your feet. Really gather the abdomen in. If that means lifting the chest up, feeling some length through the spine momentarily, that's great. And allow yourself to crawl forward, feeling some stimulation in the outer hips. Close the eyes if you haven't already gone there. Listen in on the sound, the experience of breath. Feeling the body move with the breath. You might even note an experience of displacement, one area shifting to make space for what's coming in. Then reestablishing itself in the place of what's moved back out. Start to crawl your hands over and towards the top right corner of your mat. And walk your right hand to the outside of your outer hip. On your inhale, take your left shoulder, wrap it back. Core stay strong, but look up. As you exhale, look down towards the earth. Let that top left shoulder wrap towards the floor as you look down. Inhale, shoulder wraps back as you look up. Exhale, shoulder carves down as you look down. Inhale, shoulder wraps back. Exhale, shoulder wraps forward. Inhale, stretch back up. Find length through both sides of your waist. As you exhale, circle the hands behind you and place them behind your hips. Draw the shoulder blades back down and together. Lift your heart, your chest. Feel a small tip back to open of the spine. Good. Come back through center. Inhale. And guide your hands into your heart. Switch the cross of your ankles, taking the opposite ankle in front and on top. On your inhale, sit tall. As you exhale, hinge forward. Once again, drop right into your breath, like that's your home base, that watching nature. Perhaps you feel your inhale inflate and support the lower back. Look towards the hands and walk them over towards your top left corner of the mat. Then place that hand to the outside of your left hip. Start to wrap the shoulder back and open as you look up. As you exhale, let the shoulder wrap towards the floor. Look down towards the left. Inhale, wrap the shoulder back. You can look up. Exhale, let it wrap down. Inhale, shoulder wraps back. Exhale, shoulder wraps down. Inhale, come back to the center with breath. Exhale, circle the hands behind you. Place the fingers on the floor. Maybe it's the whole palm. Lift the chest up, arch the spine. And really knit the shoulder blades together on the back. Feel that position of opening. Nice. And come back through center. Inhale. And bring your hands into your heart. Come forward onto hands and knees, tabletop position. Make sure your strap is handy somewhere near the top of your mat. Great. Curl your toes under, elevate the hips back to high, pressing your hips back for downward facing dog. Keep pressing into the finger pads of the hands, perhaps even a small bend to the knees. Lengthen the outer arms as you press away from the floor. Feel rising up through the back of your hips. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot to the outside of your right hand. On your inhale, take your right hand, stretch it up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower that hand to the floor. Use the pull of your right heel to bring your back foot forward and sink your hips low, Malasana squat. Take your hands back to the floor. Step back with your right foot. Left foot is outside the hand. Plant into your right hand and take your left hand up and towards the ceiling. As you exhale, release the hand down. Downward facing dog, step it back. This time lift the left leg, inhale. As you exhale, bring that left foot to the outside of your hand. On your inhale, stretch the right hand up for a twist. As you exhale, return the hand down to the mat. Use the pull of your left heel to bring your back heel forward and sink it low, Malasana squat. Take a deep breath, lengthen out the spine. As you exhale, palms plant and step back with your left foot. Inhale, stretch your right hand up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower the hand to the mat. Step everything back, downward facing dog. Same thing, this time with breath. You know where we're going. Lift that right leg. Exhale, right foot to the outside of the hands. Inhale, right hand stretches up. Exhale, hand to the earth, back foot forward, Malasana squat. Inhale to stay, feel the length in your spine. As you exhale, step your right foot back. On your inhale, reach that left hand up. As you exhale, release the left hand down. This time, left foot can stretch all the way back up. Inhale. Exhale, set the foot down to the mat. Inhale, lift the left foot again. Exhale, left foot to the outside of the hand. Inhale, left hand reaches up. Exhale, hands to the earth, Malasana squat. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, step it back with your left foot. Inhale, take that right hand, stretch it up. Exhale, release it down. Take your right foot, stretch it all the way up in breath. Then lower that foot down and towards the mat. Soften your knees down and towards the earth. Take them wide. Toes can now kiss. Then draw your chest heavy down towards the earth. Take your right hand and thread it through underneath you. So you're laying on the back of your right forearm. Left hand is reaching forward, feeling the back of the shoulder stretch. If that's too much, you can turn this into a subtle twist, looking over towards the left. Take the arm long, reach out. And thread the left arm underneath you and surrender heavy into the chest. Left palm is facing up. Start to lean into the mercy of the breath. The simplicity of the breath. Perhaps observing how earnest you are with your breathing. Release the hand forward. Come back to hands and knees. Curl your toes under and elevate the hips back to high for downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, bring your right foot forward and through in between your hands. Spin your back heel down towards the earth. Rise up for warrior one. Then as you exhale, tip forward and try to tap the pinkies towards one another behind you. On your inhale, reach up. You might even drive the thumbs back. As you exhale, keep the tops of your shoulders down and broad as you try to touch the pinkies behind you. Again, inhale. Exhale, as you reach the pinkies towards one another, try to tap the shoulder blades together. On your inhale, stretch the arms back up. As you exhale, release the hands to the earth. On your inhale, lift that opposite leg up. Right leg lifts up and turn your hip open. Pointing the right knee towards the ceiling, but squaring your outer right shoulder towards the floor. Release that down. Right foot kisses the mat. On your inhale, lift the left. Exhale, bring the foot forward. Back heel grounds down. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, try to tap the pinkies behind you like you're going to hug the shoulder blades together on your mat or on your back. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, try to reach the hands to tap, shoulder blades hug back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, shoulders hug back. Inhale, arm stretches up. Exhale, palms plant to the mat. Take your left foot, reach it all the way up and turn it open to the side. Wrap your outer left shoulder down towards the floor. Keep moving into this breath. And lower the foot down and towards the mat. On your inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. Back heel grounds down. You might want to bring the strap, reach up to long, warrior one. Then bind your hands together behind the mat at the back, or use your strap, letting that widen the hands apart. Think of tugging the hands away from one another isometrically. You'll feel the fronts of the shoulders set back. Then tip your chest forward, allowing the hands to move away from the hips. A small bend to the elbows if you tend to lock that out. I'd like to relax the neck. Great. Inhale, stretch the arms all the way back up, release. As you exhale, lower the hands down to the mat. Take your right foot, stretch it all the way up, rotate your hip open. As you exhale, lower that foot down to the mat. Inhale, lift the left. Exhale, bring the foot forward. Back heel grounds. Inhale, reach up. You can bring the strap. As you exhale, bind the hands behind the back. Try an opposite thread of the hands this time. Knuckles, try to stretch down, but without the cost of locking the elbows. We'll keep a small bend. Try to pull the hands apart to really set the fronts of the shoulders back. Then tip forward, bowing into the leg, but continue to square off the hips to some degree, lifting the lower abdomen in and back. Notice if you can actively move the hands away from the hips. Release the arms, inhale. As you exhale, release the hands to the mat. Take your left foot, stretch it all the way up. As you rotate the hip open, you can bend the knee. Then return that foot down to the mat. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and take the journey forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, find a halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back in. Circle the arms all the way up, stretch to tall. Palms can connect above the head. Then guide your hands into your heart. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Find your strap if you have it. If not, you can take this range of motion by simply emphasizing the movement. We're taking the arms through full range of motion and really feeling that draw back and down of the shoulder blades, the scapula. If you have a strap, you'll have the opportunity to work with a deeper stretch to the chest. On your inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, bring them behind. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bring them forward. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, circle them back. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, circle them forward. Once more. Last one. Good. Release that. Move the strap aside, set it down. Come to stand at the top of your mat. Toes come to kiss, hips drop low, arms stretch up, chair pose. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. As you exhale, plant your palms and shift it back to plank. Lowering through chaturanga, move halfway towards the floor, elbows right at your ribs. Then upward facing dog, or cobra if that feels best. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. On your inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, bring the right foot between the hands. Back heel grounds down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bind your hands behind the back. Knuckles lengthen down towards the earth. Root into your right foot. Square your hips as you lift your back heel And try to lift the hands away from the hips actively as you pull the hands apart. So this is really emphasizing that opening across the chest and the active engagement that this shoulder blades have to draw the chest open. Okay, step it back, inhale. Exhale, keep that engagement as you tip forward to the front leg. Free the hands, rise up, in breath. Exhale, hands go down to the mat. Lift your back heel, take your right hip, turn it open as you reach the leg up. As you exhale, release the foot down to the mat. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot comes forward. Back heel down, inhale, rise. Exhale, bind your hands behind the back, opposite thumb crisscrosses. Weight forward into the front foot. You'll have to square the hips intentionally. Feels like lifting the back heel and invigorating that back line of the thigh. Then float up your back leg from the strength of the hamstring. Float the hands up from that strength right in between the scapula, between the shoulders. Keep your neck nice and long. Gaze is ahead of your mat. Jaw nice and loose, still steady with your breath. Step it back, inhale. Exhale, tip forward, humble warrior. Inhale, rise up, free the arms. Exhale, palms go down to the mat. Take your left foot, stretch it up, turn your hip open. Exhale, lower your foot down towards the earth. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Make the journey forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. As you exhale, bow into your leg. Toes touching, thighs draw back, arms stretch up for chair. As you exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Right, bring your weight into your right foot. Take your left heel in and towards your glute. Reach back for that foot, either holding the outer edge of the foot or holding the inside edge. You decide. There's a little external rotation in the inside hold. Then stretch your arm up in line with your ear. Yeah. Press the foot back and into your hand, practicing standing on the right foot. Core is in and strong. Think of this more as hip and chest mobility, yeah? As you press into the back heel, feel like you're reaching forward with your chest, still leveling with the hips. Take a final breath. And then come out slow. Release that. Bring the foot back down and towards the earth. Nice. Bring that left opposite right heel in towards the glute. You decide on the grip of the hand, thumb out or palm facing the foot. Take your opposite arm and stretch and reach it up. Take the breath with you as you tip forward, kicking the heel into the hand and reaching your chest out to forward for dancer. Yeah, really knitting the core of the abdomen. So we're still staying connected to that center point and supporting the spine rather than asking the low back to do the majority of the movement. Or one more breath. Good. Release. Come up. Lower that foot down and towards the floor. Cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Toes come to kiss one another. Hips drop low. Arms stretch up. Inhale. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs and fold. On your inhale, find a halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the palms and shift back to plank. Slow chaturanga, lower halfway down. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back to high.
Inhale, lift with your right thigh. Exhale, bring your right foot forward and between your hands. Back heel glues down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bind your hands behind the back. Knuckles lengthen down, root forward into your front foot. Square the hips as you lift that back heel, lift the hands away from the chest. Then step it back for your warrior one, arms stay bound. Hinge forward, forward fold, humble warrior. On your inhale, free the arms, stretch up. As you exhale, release the hands down and towards the mat. Take your right foot all the way up. This time, as you turn the hip open, you have another option. One option might be lowering the elbow down. A different option could be slowly and with control, lowering the foot to the floor and presenting the front of your hips forward towards the ceiling. Press into your bottom palm, feel the shoulder setting back, just like you've been practicing in those warriors forward. Come all the way back around, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left thigh. As you exhale, bring it forward. Back heel glues down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bind the hands behind the back. Root forward into the front foot. Lift the hands as you lift the heel. As you exhale, step it back. Inhale, find your long spine. Exhale, tip forward to that front leg. Rise back up, inhale. Exhale, hands go down to the mat. Lift the back heel, rotate your left hip open. And if you took the opportunity, now might be time for your wild thing. Hips rising, chest lifting, bottom shoulder hugging onto the back space, nice and safe, not popping forward towards the chest. And we'll slowly find our way out, come all the way back around. And lower your knees down and towards the floor. Kick your hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Finding an intentionally rounded position. A deep and even breath. Come back onto your hands and knees. Curl the toes under. This time go right to Malasana at the back of your mat. Hips go nice and low. Hands might be right in at the heart. Different opportunity. Take your hands and tuck the back of your hands into your hip creases and slide your elbows to the inside of your knees. And pretty dramatic stretch here for some of us. Then if there's still room, you'll just lift the chest up. Feeling some antagonism to what's working in your downward facing dog. Taking some time to sink into the stretch, breathe into this moment. Good. Then unfurl the hands from the hip creases, lift your hips up, forward fold. Bend the knees some, hold on to opposite elbows, and let yourself hang heavy down towards the floor. Let the jaw release, let the head drip down. Release the hands. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, bow back into your legs. Circle the arms all the way up. We'll stretch nice and tall. Then guide your hands down to your heart. This time, press into your right foot. Take the top of your left foot to the floor. Straighten out the thigh from the quadriceps and start to melt the front of your ankle towards the mat. You can even flirt with different sides of the foot, going towards the big toe mound, going towards the pinky side. For a final breath. And release that foot to the mat. Take the top of the opposite foot to the floor. Now, right foot. And if you rolled a little across that area, go ahead and find it here. And release both feet down and towards the mat. And close your eyes and simply feel your feet, feel the openness across the chest. Feel like you're standing up nice and tall. And notice if tall starts to feel like chest lifting, and if that's the case, feel the bottom of the ribs drawing in. But still widen the tops of your shoulders. Most of us tend to bring the fronts of the shoulders a little forward, so feel like you're broadening across the front of the chest. Not necessarily puffing the chest, but really widening that stretch across the front of the heart. Or even widening that stretch across the back of the heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bow into your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sit your hips all the way down to the floor. Position yourself right about the middle of your mat, then slowly recline all the way down to the earth. If you have a block handy, great. If you don't have a block handy, a different way to go about this is to use your mat. And if you're at a place where you feel pretty able to do this, then you'll just go to the back of your mat and roll it up until it's resting right at the back of your heart. And if you want something a little bolder, great. And you'll just put this on the back line of the ribs and allow the chest to fall open. Hands might have to be a little higher than expected. If you have a block or even two blocks, you'll set up by taking that first block about medium height or even lowest height. And then the second block can be highest height or lowest height or medium height. And reclining back, setting it up like the second block is a little pillow for your head. First block, a pillow for right behind the heart. If you're using a mat, great.
can have the legs nice and long, or with or without the support of some blankets or additional blocks, bring the feet to touch and the knees to splay open. Then come back home to your breath. Come home to your heart. Give the fronts of your shoulders permission to soften and melt back. If you have the mat there, you can imagine now that this rib cage is getting more mobile, more free. We'll be here a while, so there's plenty of time to notice, where does the mind go? If it has traveled, there still might be time to gently guide it back. Back to the breath, or back to this moment right here. And flip your palms to face down if you're lifted on the block. rotate your knees towards the ceiling if you took that open hip variation. Move to one side or the other, then move the blocks out of the way. Unroll the mat if that's the variation you took, and come back onto your spine. Bring the knees close in towards you. Give yourself a little squeeze and a round. Great time for happy baby, holding on to opposite ankles, and even no need to put pressure on. Then come back through the middle and extend the legs long. Slide the shoulder blade tips down the back, and just like when you were standing, examine how you hold these shoulders. Sometimes we're lifting them away from the floor without realizing. Maybe we feel a squeeze up towards the ears. That one's also pretty common. Another tendency we might have in the body is to rotate the thumbs inward towards the legs or even towards the floor. And while that can be nice when we're sleeping, for this, our purposes here, try the opposite. Rotate the thumbs lightly out, if not dramatically so. Even noting if one thumb turns more in than the other. And let your breath be whatever it is. Potentially focusing yet again or still right on the space of the heart, the chest. Feeling how wide the heart is. How broad the chest is. Feel the openness of this space. And stretch your arm up and overhead, bend your knees, and rotate over to either side. Press away from the earth and come all the way up and into a seat. Sit tall and press the palms together in front of the chest. Bowing into the practice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great job. I will see you next time. And for more classes, feel free to just subscribe below to the DRVN Unlimited website. Have a wonderful one. Stay safe.